Ta-da! And now we will flip her over. Actually, we can move this out of the way for now, and we'll get our pieces for page 6. Alright, your pieces for page 6 are, you need 2 A pieces, and they are 4 7/8 by 6 3/8 of an inch. Your B piece is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, so it's a square. Your C piece is 5 3/4 by 8 3/8, and your D piece is just little. It's 2 inches by 3 5/8. Okay, get your scoreboard out. And your A pieces will be scored at half and 5/8 on the 4 7/8 side. So half and 5/8. So you're just making a little gusset. Alright, and I've already scored the other one. Your B piece does not get scored at all. Your C piece, score at half on the 5 3/4. And your D piece, half on the 3 5/8 side. Okay, so that was super easy. That's all the scoring I have to do. Now we'll add our bits of score tape. None on your B piece. And then on the A's, make sure not to have adhesive going into that gusset. Don't cross over your score line. Alright, so make sure there's that space between your score lines and the score tape. Alright, now we're going to miter the corners, remembering that on if you have 2 score lines, someday I'm going to get good light, I promise. This house is so dark. So do not cut into the gusset. So you've got, there we go-ish. There. So make sure you're only going from that 1/2 inch score line to the edge of the paper. You're not cutting into the 5/8 of an inch score line. Okay, so get those little bitties out of the way. Okay, and now let's work with the B piece. So you need to cut this in half on a diagonal. So you can either fold it in half at a diagonal and then cut it with scissors, or you can use your cutting board and just kind of line it up, line the points up and cut it at a diagonal. Okay, so you've got 2 triangles like that. And now, I said this didn't get scored, but it actually does. I just had to cut it first. So now we need to score it at half on either side. So it's a little bit finicky, but give it your best go. So you want it to look like that. Okay, so on each of those straight sides there, you need a 1/2 inch. So this one is the tricky one because you're not right at the top. There we go. So these are going to be little tiny diagonal pockets. So add your score tape and now go a little ways past, because you want the score tape to be right to the edge. So go past the point and then we will trim off any extra. Okay, so see how there's just a little bit extra there, so we'll just trim that off. And then we need to miter this corner like that. So we're doing the same thing we've always done. Okay, so we'll just finish mitering all the corners. So for the two corner parts, just cut, oh, that might have been a little bit more too much, but just cut up like that, so when you fold them, so they'll look straight down, like the cuts will be straight down, so then when you fold them, they will be hidden. Okay? Once you've got all that cut and folded and creased, now we can bring in our base page and start putting it together. So this was the last page, so flip it over, make sure it's the right way up. Start with your A pieces, and they go on the left and right side of your base page. So one on the left, and one on the right. And they should meet in the middle. Like that. And now your little B corner pieces, they are going to act as little corner pockets. So open up your A pieces, and these are going to go on the right and left bottom corners. And now I didn't cut quite enough, so when you fold them, when you fold on your score lines, if there's still a little bit hanging over, make sure to cut that little bit off so you can't see any of it. That one was perfect, but this one's a little off. Okay, so now remove the score tape backing, score tape backing. Okay, so one on the right and one on the left. Just like that. And now your C piece is going to go at the top of your base page. And it will fit perfectly in between. So make sure that these can still fold properly. And then your final piece, your little D piece, is going to go right in between your two little corner pockets down here. And it's going to act as a little closure. Okay, so right down in between the two little corner pockets. Alright, that's all of your pieces. And that's going to go like that and like that. So now we need to add some magnets. So okay, so we'll add a magnet to this D piece here, closing over C. So a little piece of score tape. Two magnets. Complete your score tape magnet sandwich with another piece of score tape. And close it up over C. And now we will put magnets. Actually, you know what? I think, this is the paper I was planning on using for the front. And I'm wondering if maybe I should do some kind of, I think I might glue something down here and then put a magnet on this side, like maybe one of the, I think I'm going to use one of the stickers as a closure on this. Okay, so you can do that. You can either use a sticker as a closure with a magnet behind it, or you can also add magnets to both A pieces, closing them down to the C piece. Totally your choice. And then we just gather our papers and we will start to decorate it, is the plan. Alright, so I've already got my papers cut. It is now we're going into more of the tealy kind of blues. So I'll just start adhering them. I have this as my plan for here. So we'll put that down. Oh, but if I am adding a magnet, then I want to do that first. So add the right side or the left side, and then I'll see if I can find a sticker that would work well. Okay, so left side. Okay, now let's see. Okay, this Merry Christmas sticker will work perfectly. So I'm going to back it on some cardstock. Scrap of cardstock, will that fit? Yes, it will. Okay, so I'm going to put a magnet in between the sticker and the cardstock, kind of close to the edge, just do like that, and then put the sticker on, oops, I'm going to center it though, on the cardstock. And then cut it. Okay, and then I'm going to glue it right about here, and then the magnet will be on this side here. I don't want to cover up too much of that tree. Maybe I'll do it near to the bottom. So I don't want to cover up the tree. Or I could do it at the top. Alright, that works. Okay, so I'm going to glue just this half of the sticker onto here, and then the magnet will be on this side. Okay. So some trusty score tape here. Right to the middle. Actually, we're just going to go 3. Let's go like that. Yeah, that's enough. Okay, remove the backing. Okay, and now place this onto the page. Right about there, and then we will let another magnet adhere there and put a piece of score tape on it. Okay, and there's the closure. Now we can add this piece of paper. Just like that. Okay, on the inside, I love the deep blues here. Now I'm going to have to cut a little piece to go with that. So I'm going to see if I have any more of this specific paper. Okay, so I need to cut a piece that is how big? 1.5 by almost 1 and no, yeah, almost 1 and 3. Okay. Okay, perfect. Just gonna ink that up. All right, start putting them on. Okay, so on here I have, actually I'm going to put this down and put the journaling spot up top. Okay, so this here. And journaling spot. Alright, and then open it up. And this pretty Christmas tree is going to go here and here. And when I was cutting it, I accidentally cut the wrong measurement, so I had to paper piece it. So this is actually going to go in first, that way. Silly. We're gonna try to make it look like it never happened. That's a wrong cut, did not occur. Okay, now make sure I'm putting it the right way. Yes, so this is going to slip into each of these pockets. Try not to let it adhere before you get it in the spot that you want. Okay, there we go. Now we can do the next one. If I'd had another piece of this paper, I would have recut it, but unfortunately I did not have another piece of this paper. So we're going with it like this. Alright, so there we go. I've got a couple little tiny journaling spots for here. And then this, I believe I'm going to use another sticker. And I made it this size specifically to fit the stickers. So this one is going to be the same tree. Just like that. And then I'll have to put one on the other side as well. Alright, there's that. Close that up. And now I'll put another sticker here. You know, it would be cute if I went, the cold never bothered me anyway out here. And then on the inside I should have said hail so the cold bothers the rest of us. That would be cute. Well, maybe I'll use this on a tag in here, I think. So I think they should be together somehow. Or should I do, I like the dark though. Because I'm going with all the dark tones. I'm going to go with enough with the snow. And then we'll do both the Elsa stickers somewhere else, I think. For all of you who are like complete snow lovers. It's funny because one collection is all about loving snow and then the other collection is kind of anti-snow. It's pretty funny. Did I cut this too? There we go. Okay, so that is that. You can embellish it further if you desire. And now we're done our pages. So now we can move on to making the cover itself, and then we can do the inside, the front and back covers on the inside. So let us get our pieces for the covers. So your covers are going to be, I'm using a heavyweight chipboard. It's a really thick one, this tough. And you will need 2 pieces for both the covers that measure 7 by 9 1/4. And then your spine piece, sorry, it should be like this. And your spine piece is 7 by 2 1/2. Okay, so this is what it will look like. Alright, so cut those. 2 at 7 by 9 1/4, and your spine is 7 by 2 1/2. Alright, so once you have those cut, You will also need a piece of cardstock, one that measures 5 by 9, and that is going to go in behind the spine. Okay, so this we're going to cover it with Tyvek. Alright, so that's going to sit underneath these. And then you'll need 2 pieces of cardstock that measure 7 by 2, and they are going to go on top of the spine, like over top of the spaces in between the covers and the spine part, and they will also be covered with Tyvek. Okay, so I've already got my piece of Tyvek covered with score tape, so I'm going to stick these together, my Tyvek to my cardstock, so I'm going to do that now. Okay, so we're just going to cover the cardstock. Alright, just like that. And I'm also going to cover those 2 smaller pieces with the Tyvek, the 2 pieces for right here that measure 7 by 2. So I'm going to cover those with Tyvek. And we're covering them with Tyvek because where your album bends, this is where it's going to bend, right? And that's what's going to have the most strain. So you want to make sure that the cardstock that sits in between here is not going to rip, and that's why you want the Tyvek in there so that it protects it from ripping and tearing. And I'll do that last one while I'm at it. Now I'm using black chipboard. If you don't have black chipboard, if you're using just a craft colored chipboard, then you might want to cover the whole thing. The whole, like, I'm not going to do a cardstock cover of the entire album. So what I'm saying is I'm just going to have something wrapping around just this center portion. Otherwise, if you're using a craft color cardstock, you can cut cardstock, like, or put 2 pieces of cardstock together that are 1 inch all the way around, larger than the size of this here, and then place your chipboard pieces on top of that large piece of cardstock, and then put score tape all the way around the edge, and then fold it up. If you go to my Golden Romance album, I do the full wrap of the cover, so if you want to see how that's done, you can go there and check that out. So now what I need to do is put a little bit of score tape onto just the edges, these 2 edges, like where the chipboard is going to attach to this piece of cardstock with Tyvek over it. So the whole spine needs to be covered. You can use wet adhesive if you so desire. I'm just going to use score tape just for ease, and also because I have the glue that I ended up buying quite a bit of it, and I don't like it at all. I'm really quite disappointed. The Tombow multi glue, the white glue, I really like, and I just bought quite a bit of the Tombow Aqua glue, and it's a clear, and it just does not stick very well. I find things just come apart. I'm just not happy with it. And unfortunately, I bought a whole whack of it. I'm sure it's good for some things, but for the things that I need it for, it doesn't seem to work all that well, unfortunately. But I really like the white Tombow. It's fantastic, so I wish I'd just gotten more of that. Okay, so how wide is this? Probably do three strips. Three might be pushing it a little bit, but we'll see. Okay, so now remove the tape backing from your spine piece. And stick that down right in as centered as you can get it. So there'll be an inch at the top and the bottom. And now the sides. Now, because I'm using a heavyweight chipboard, you want to make sure you leave enough space. So give a good amount of space in between it's about 1/8 of an inch in between the chipboard pieces. Alright, so there's like a good 1/8 of an inch in between there, just so that allows it to be able to bend up. And we'll do the same on the other side. Okay, so leave about 1/8 of an inch. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to add these two pieces, and then we're going to fold these over. So we need to add some score tape here and here. Okay, you don't want the score tape right in the center. So I'm going to put, using the 1/2 inch score tape, I'm going to put one strip over here. And another strip here. And that should be pretty good. I'm going to cut just a smidge off this. So it would be, what, 7 by 1 3/4. Alright, so 7 by 1 3/4. And I had meant to put this with the Tyvek down, but oops. That's alright. Guess it doesn't really matter. I wonder if I can get this one back up. Not likely. Alright, we'll just do it the same so it's looks cohesive. Alright, and now we are going to put score tape here and here and fold those over. Alright, so kind of take the book and bend it a little bit, and then pull this over. And do the same on the other side, the bottom. And fold this up. And now keep in mind, this is going to be covered with your hinge mechanism, and then we're going to have pattern paper here, so you're not going to see any of this. This is all going to be hidden. And now take a, I'll use my metal ruler instead. Take a ruler in the crease. Where's the crease? There it is. And kind of help it bend up here. Okay, and do the same for this side. Okay, so there is your cover. All right.